So again, as always, as we start Yertek Tunai with nature's blessings, we are going into the domain-specific session of the day, that is for web and app development domains of our top 100 teams of Hack4Purpose. And as you know, myself, Desika Prabhakar, director and founder of the Purpose Foundation, and we have Lakshmi, our COO, who is going to welcome our lovely chief guest of the day, who's going to give us such a deep insight into web and app development domain. So let's hear the introduction from Lakshmi.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to welcome you all to today's virtual technical session. We're very honored to have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Kalyana Sundaram, fondly known as Kalyan. So he is the founder and CEO of Great Innovus Solutions Private Limited, a company that has significantly impacted the technology world, earning accolades like the Red Earring Top 100 Asia 2016 and the Silicon Review Magazine's 50 Best Indian Founded Companies 2017. Sir has been a serial entrepreneur with a track record that includes founding Purpletab Software Solutions, which made a successful exit to Lenskart in 2017. His passion for technology and innovation is reflected in his impressive portfolio, including 2 technology patents and numerous prestigious awards. Beyond the boardroom, Sir has been a mentor and inspiration, frequently sharing his expertise at technology events and educational institutions. Sir's academic achievements are also equally remarkable. He holds a postgraduate degree in software systems from BITS Pilani and also has completed the C Transformation program at Stanford Graduate School of Business. His dedication and knowledge and excellence has earned him scholarships from Bharat Petroleum Corporations Limited and IEEE. In addition to his professional achievements, Sir is deeply committed to community services as well. He serves as a regional chair for Young Indians, convener of ICT task force of CII Madurai Zone, and also an active Rotarian and the Freemasons. Today, Kalyan sir will be sharing his insights on the dynamic field of web and app development. With his extensive experience and deep understanding on this industry, we can all look forward to the valuable insights and takeaways from his session. Welcoming you all.
Thank you, Lakshmi, and thank you, Desika. It's been a pleasure to be here at DPurpose, and very fantastic job that you are doing at DPurpose in grooming entrepreneurs, which is really good. So one innovation that I would like to associate myself and being identified or known for is I have a patent that I did during my work at Oracle. So this patent is on voice over IP over packet switch network. So that's a technical term. So to give you a context, like how many of you have done a voice call or an audio call on WhatsApp? You can just raise your hands, kind of.
Everyone, yes.
Okay, so that actually extends my patent, actually, kind of. So when in 2005-06, when we invented that, like nobody actually used it. Like very few people were using it. Then after the Android and iPhone advent, like many people have started using it. So today, like until 2019, I was receiving royalty for that particular patent, and now it is in public domain, kind of. So that's something that I would like to have myself associated with. So one message that I would like to start with is basically ensure that you create a purpose, ensure that whatever you create touches lives of many people. So that way you will change a life as well as you create an impact with technology. I mean, I believe like most of them are engineers over here. So we can actually do wonders through technology, and that's something that I would like to highlight and take it forward. So with this, like today, I will be limiting my session or the delivery content to just 15 to 20 minutes max. So I will be starting with web development. I will introduce some tools and technologies that might be that are readily available, and how do you go live or host it, kind of. So that's something that I will highlight, and then like I will get started with mobile application development, and then web and mobile is technologies. Okay, so that's about you can build something, but to actually create an impact and deliver, like you need to have better teams, and collaborating with the bigger team is actually better, must needed for a startup, kind of. So I will be touching base on how to build better teams, and then close with today, like how AI is adventing into the systems, and how development can be enhanced using AI, kind of. So that is how I'm planning and structuring my entire session kind of. So if there is any queries or questions, like feel free to put it in the chat. I will pause in middle. I'll have a look at them. In case if needed, I will address them together. Or if not, like I can have them addressed towards the end of the session kind of. So first, so web application development, most people associate it with mostly like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and creative websites. Okay, so web development is not just only limiting to websites, but making it as a web application. So what is a web application is like you'll have a server, you'll have a client. There can be different frameworks like frameworks and APIs to make sure that your content or the data is made available to most majority of the people kind of. Okay, so web development primary experience that one should focus as a startup founder is like user experience. Okay, so you need to have users be able to access your website or web application through any platform. Like today, people can access on a desktop, can access on a laptop, can access on a tablet device like iPad or Android tablet, or also can access from a phone. So these are the 4 popular form factors, and ensure that like your software or the web application that you build is gracefully working on all these technology platforms. Okay, so these are the delivery nodes, and the technical term for having a web application seamlessly working across multiple platforms through a browser is called responsive web application. Okay, so you can build a responsive web application and ensure that it is very fast. So, I mean, anyone would launch a website on their mobile phone or a desktop. They wouldn't wait beyond 5 seconds. Okay, so if nothing is getting loaded for more than 5 seconds, as an end user, like what we do is like we hit the close button. Okay, so ensure that it is lightweight or show some content. One of the best example for lightweight and fast loading is Google's web page. Okay, so Google, when you type google.com, it does only one thing, search. And they just present the search bar in a very neat and precise manner. And that's one of the best example that's been cited for like, now Google is like almost 25 years old company. So last 25 years, this entire web development community is citing Google for simplicity and the best user experience that it gives, just with logo and a search bar. That's the maximum content that it has in its homepage. Okay, so ensure that you create a usability to the end user. This way, your technology is actually adopted and visually appealing as well. So some of the frameworks that is available for modern web technology development is React. React is React.js, as they call it. Like React is open source by Meta. Facebook has invented React and they have made it open source. So React is a JavaScript library that is available for public to use, and it's very popular recently. I mean, recent days, like React is the most popular framework that is being used by many of the web applications. So the second most popular framework, if you look at, is AngularJS. Okay, so or shortly they call it as Angular. And Angular is from Google. So Google has launched Angular, and they have made it popular and available kind of. So third popular platform is Vue, and these all JavaScript-based frameworks are used for dynamic web application development. And today, like multiple APIs are available. So API is application programming interface. Popular services allow people to use it. RESTful API, Graph API are the most popular things that are available kind of. So when you want to create more extensive user experience, you will be using a server-side technology like Node.js, Django, or Ruby on Rails, or Python. So Django is again a Python-based framework. So these are some of the web application frameworks that is available. And other today, like most demanding tool is progressive web app. So progressive web app is blurring the line between web and mobile application and ensure that native app-like experience is available in web application also, kind of in websites. So these are the different terminologies in the web development landscape today. Coming to tech and tools to founders, there are a lot of IDEs, integrated development environments. Popular code editors today available to develop a web application is VS Code, Sublime Text, JetBrain IDE kind of. And to collaborate with multiple people, you have version control systems like GitHub, GitLab. So these are very popular tools, and even Bitbucket is available kind of. And for deployment, there are a lot of continuous integration and continuous development, CI/CD as they call it, Jenkins, GitLab CI, Circle CI. So those kind of tools are available, and Docker and Kubernetes are available for containerization to build scalable applications. So this is about the tools and technologies that is available for the web. And next, like to have your users access, you need to provide hosting. So earlier, like you used to buy a dedicated server and host your web application. Recently, what happens is like people are very cloud has grown a lot, and it has brought down the cost, and we can provide scalable hosting through cloud. Okay, so one of the most popular cloud applications are Amazon's offering, which is AWS, Amazon Web Services, Google's offering, which is Google Cloud Platform, and third more popular and which is actually fast growing is Microsoft Azure Platform. So these are the three popular cloud providers which is available in the market, and they're growing very fast kind of. So cloud hosting enables a founder to build scalability. Pay-as-you-go kind of models are available to reduce your upfront cost, so cost effectiveness, and deploy closer to the user's data or user access data centers kind of. So global reach is ensured through them. And you can also ensure a managed services to focus on core business. Okay, I see one question which says, we are building a web portal to connecting impact investors and talented student projects to find sustainability projects. Okay, so if you're building a portal, like ensure that you identify what technology you are going to use. So there's going to be impact in investors and talented students who are going to be a part of this particular portal, or that is the end users that will be using. Basically, what I would recommend is like. You'll not be connecting to external APIs. So you need to ensure that like you build a scalable application, because like most students, if they are coming in, it should be scalable. So plan it accordingly. And there are a lot of stacks and frameworks available. Like Mern stack is one thing. Mern means Mongo, Express, React, and Node. Okay, so you need to have a full stack development that is happening. Like you need to have the back end running, and you need to have the front end running using React. So those kind of things you need to be doing. So that is something that I would recommend if you're building a portal kind of development. Okay. So the second question that I see is like we add a chat page, chatting with the users and students. Okay, chat really good, and I need to suggest how to make like WhatsApp. Okay. Okay, so WhatsApp again is a RESTful thing. Like they have a simple REST service built on, and people can just connect and do it, and it's real time. Like they call it as Ajax. Okay, so it's a very fast way to provide things. So the thing that differentiates WhatsApp from other messengers is like the notifications. Okay, so pure web app cannot provide notifications, or they are limited to providing notifications only within the window. If you have a browser tab open, you'll be able to provide notifications. Okay, so notifications are a way to trigger user to actually start using or keep looking at the things. So it's a way to create addiction. Okay, so in Facebook, like you see likes, right? So whenever you get a like you get a notification or a trigger in the form of sound. So it makes you look again. Okay, so when you post something, like you are triggered, it's boosting your dopamine and creating a lot of purpose to actually go and see the thing. Like it's creating an addiction kind of thing. Okay, so through portal, web app will not be able to get the power of notifications. What I would recommend is like you can build a mobile app where you can have students getting a lot of notifications. They keep using it kind of. One example or reference than WhatsApp I would recommend is Duolingo. Okay, so it's actually a language training program, but they build completely on notifications, making people. Somebody wants to learn something, they would be bored after a period of time. And Duolingo, if you look at the messages and the way that they are doing it, like it's fantastic on how they have built the entire ecosystem around that kind of. So that's something that I would recommend to take input kind of. Key KPI to focus on the project. Okay, so performance is one thing, and scalability, like how many number of users you'll be handling, is the second part that will be setting the KPI. And third KPI is memory usage and storage that we'll be doing, and how you can optimize the storage and access of users kind of. So those are few KPIs that you can set kind of. Okay. So next question I see is like create one app that runs both on web and Android. Yeah, that's definitely possible. Cross platform. I'll be covering this particular point in further during the presentation kind of. Okay. Okay. So how can we test our website if we manage desired number of users? Okay. So testing, there are a lot of testing platforms and tools where we can emulate node and test it out kind of. So I've not covered testing today, but like towards the end of the session, like probably I will I'll give some inputs on testing kind of. So far what we have covered is web development landscape and tech and tools available to founders to build web application in today's world. And third thing that we saw is how to bring it to life through hosting. We discussed about cloud hosting. And we also discussed about continuous maintenance, so how we can build on top of it. So I mean, day one, you cannot have everything built. So how you can slowly, incrementally build something that we discussed. So this completes the web development landscape. Now we'll move to the mobile application development landscape. So in mobile, like you have two major differentiators, I would say. There are like two steps of differentiators. Like one is, today, the most popular mobile platform is Android, and the second most popular is iPhone. If you take a small step back, like say some 10 years ago, there were like multiple mobile platforms. Like Symbian was one platform that is available, and you also had there was like Windows Mobile was available. And there was also mobile Linux available, and even Solaris was available for mobile. So there were like, you need to build for multiple platforms, and each platform like you need to be building it. So in today's world, 2024, fast forward, there are only three landscapes. One, you build a native application or a cross-platform development, and if you are selecting native, you build for iOS and Android. And if you don't want to build two applications, then you have third option, which is cross-platform development. Okay, so native application development today, Apple has made it or simplified the entire development process with Shift. So Shift is a TypeScript-based simple programming language, and you need Xcode to build mobile application kind of. So Xcode is natively available only on Mac platform. So that is on the iOS side. And if you look at the Android side, Android still extensively uses Java. And today they have also replaced Java with Kotlin. Again, it's a TypeScript-based language. So they provide their own IDE, which is Android Studio. There are also third-party IDEs available, like Eclipse, many other tools are available, which you can use to build Android applications. So this is about the native iOS and native Android application development. And the third option that you have is cross-platform development. So cross-platform is like you build once and you can run it on multiple platforms. Okay, so to give you an idea, like you write one code and you can, when you build it, or when you create the executable, you can create the executable for iOS and Android. So you write only once, you deploy it to multiple platforms. And even a step further, Google is offering kind of advanced tools where you can build for web also together. So you don't have to differentiate between iOS. You don't have to have a mobile application and then like web application separate. Rather, in a single code base, you can deploy it across iOS, Android, web, and even in web, like you can make it responsive, so you can make it available as an enterprise application for Windows also. So these kind of things are available. So the tools that is available to build cross-platform is, the most popular one is React Native. Again, React Native comes from Facebook, and Facebook's application is built on React Native. So React Native is like write one, deploy across iOS and Android. And Google has a similar tool or platform, which is called as Flutter. Okay, so Flutter offers you a UI toolkit, which is again heavily invested or open sourced by Google. So that provides you build native compiled applications. So the advantage of Flutter is like it doesn't build as a wrapper; it actually executes as a low-level program that is running on the particular device. So if you're running it on iOS or iPhones, it will be running very natively for iPhone. And same way, when you're running it on Android, it will again run a very natively application on Android. And latestly, Flutter is also available, giving you options to build web applications. So you can directly deploy it to build a website or web app kind of thing. Microsoft also has an offering called Xamarin, but it's not very popular. Only enterprises use just to avoid licensing issues kind of. So the advantages of cross-platform tools is cost efficiency, code reusability, and faster time to the market. So you build once, you just like launch it on multiple platforms simultaneously. So if you look at today's modern applications, they are actually done using this cross-platform tools. React Native is the most preferred choice of founders in today's days to build a new startup. If it is going to have mobile and web, like they prefer React and React Native. So they build once and they just deploy it on iOS, Android, and web kind of. So this is about the mobile application development landscape. Now, so you build a mobile application, you launch it, you onboard customers, company scales. So then what happens is like there'll be future requests coming in, there will be like bugs coming in, and you'll have more people to cater to these needs. So basically, you'll be building a team. Okay, so it is always ensured, as a startup founder, you need to ensure that you build diversification of skills and encourage your team members to learn multiple stacks, both front end, back end, and cloud. So as a developer, as a startup founder, you yourself need to be equipped with all these stack kind of. That is one. And use agile methodologies like Scrum kind of things. You have open and free tools like Asana, and even Jira is giving free for less than 5-member team and all. So start using it right from day one. These agile methodologies will give you a iterative development, so you don't have to wait for like 5 months to ship a product only to know that user is not accepting it. So rather you'll have weekly iterations. It's called sprints. Usually the sprint time is like what you can have 1 week sprint, 2-week sprint, or a month-long sprint. So shorter is better actually. So you will be like the end user will feel like you're giving constant updates and so more faster evaluation of your application. So one of the most popular application for agile implementation or iterative development is ChatGPT. You can see like every single week ChatGPT mobile app is getting updated because they follow a weekly sprint and they keep delivering a lot of use cases on a weekly basis. So use collaboration tools. Slack is again from Asana team, which is also free. Atlassian team, which is free for small teams, I believe. And very useful to collaborate within your team. Jira is also available. Trello is also available for effective communication, and right from day one, like you can do project management. And embrace on open source technologies. A lot of open source tools are available in today's world. So see how you can actually leverage them. And I would also recommend you to open source some of your tech stacks. Okay, so you build something, if you open source it, like you get like more data built on it, and you have more rapid development happening around your technology stack. So I would recommend people to, embrace open sourcing whenever and wherever needed, kind of. So then, like today, that completes the team aspect of web and mobile application development. Then, like today, AI. Okay, so one of the buzzword of the industry. Every single person speaks AI, and every company puts a mask around themselves saying that they are AI. So how, if you're building an AI startup, okay, so you build something on AI, what is that you need to do today. So that's something that I'm just going to touch upon, because that's also a trend today, right? So first, use an open source AI framework. Okay, so TensorFlow, PyTorch, you're building your LLM models, use Mistral AI, which is open source, Anthropic. So those kind of technologies, you start using it. And this will ensure that you have your data set available to public, so they can also start adding more training data. So today, like, it's about how much training data you can give to your model, so that like the machine learning happens at a more advanced stage. Okay, so open source is one way, and embracing open source AI frameworks is one way to ensure that like you're accumulating more data. Okay, that's one. And second one, is like stay ahead with ML ops. Okay, so ML ops is a practice to streamline AI lifecycle from development to production. Okay, so this is, if you're building an AI application, these are some points I would like to highlight. And lastly, ensure that data privacy and ethics is something that you follow right from day one, because many of the AI applications today are facing this backlash. If you go to ChatGPT, like there is a common notation that like all your data belongs to OpenAI, which is using it for training their models, kind of. That's one thing is happening. And there is like illegally scrapping YouTube or open content and then taking the data. That comes from the ethics perspective. So these are some of the common things that are happening around the AI. So ensure that like you right from day one, like don't get into privacy and ethics issue, because I mean, for a company like OpenAI, they can afford to actually fight legal systems and come out. As a startup, like one legal case is enough to ensure that like you shut shop. So as a startup, like you should be very wary about data privacy and data ethics, basically. So if you're an AI company, be very particular about it, and using open source AI frameworks will ensure that like you're not breaching the data privacy and data ethics, kind of. So these are some things that I would like to have you be very wary. And lastly, I would like to also advise you to use AI to increase your productivity. Okay, so you don't build an AI application, you build a regular. So one example that we saw is a portal they are building for matchmaking between investors and students. Okay, so how they can use AI to build something is like co-pilots are available. So they are like AI assisted coding. So GitHub is offering a co-pilot, Microsoft is offering a co-pilot, and there are also many third-party co-pilots available. So you can see how you can use AI assisted co-pilots to use coding for coding purposes, and it increases productivity, basically, kind of. Okay, so and there is a few more AI-driven application development for mobile and web application development, particularly user experience. Like you can use tools like ChatGPT to get ideas of user behavior, analyze user behavior, and create personalized experiences and dynamic content recommendations, kind of. So these are some things that you can use for AI-driven web application development. And within the company as a startup, like ensure that you automate routine tasks. Okay, so like testing can be automated, bug fixing can be automated, performance optimization can be optimized and automated. So these will free up developers from mundane tasks, and they can focus more on strategic work, creating new features, building something that will change the world, kind of thing. Okay, so and if natural language interfaces can be added, we saw a small example of chatbot. If you can build an AI-driven chatbot or a voice assistant that can be integrated into your applications, those are today intuitive ways to interact with services. One example is like today ChatGPT has launched a newer version where you can search through voice, and also like you can do outflow of like what you want, and it actually mixes multiple media, image, audio, everything it uses, all the sensory inputs it takes, and it generates output for you. So those kind of ways are preferred by users today. And there is one more AI-driven. I wouldn't say AI. It's more about easing the development kind of rapid prototyping. So no code, low code platforms. Okay, so try to see how you can use low code, no code platforms for quick application development. Okay, so Microsoft offers Power Apps. So something like that, like you have OutSystems, Mendix, Bubble, and even Flutterflow. So these kind of platforms available ensures like you create quick coding in short term, like within a week's time, like you can build them, not even a week time, say a few hours to build a complete web application, prototype it, see user acceptance, then you actually start building more in detail kind of. So these are some latest technologies that is available which you can consider and use it kind of. So that completes my entire presentation. So just to conclude, stay updated. Today, it's like technology landscape is evolving very rapidly. So ensure that you keep learning and adapting to new things. Build a culture of innovation and encourage experimentation, learning from failures, and embrace failure. So don't see failure as a I mean, actually, our education system does it that way because, like, you write a wrong answer, you are penalized for writing a wrong answer, then actually cross reducing the marks. But actually, like, what you can learn from that is something that is needed for a startup and enterprising companies, kind of. So that's something that you need to look at. And how to leverage technology to scale is something that you need to also look at parallelly. And final tip is like collaborate with the community, use open source AI trends, and collaborate with nature, offering startups a innovative way to punch above the weight. So you can see today a lot of disruption is happening from startups, and you don't need to be a very big company to. I mean, very big company actually are acting slow. So for Microsoft to launch something, it's never happening. And today, Google has lost the AI race, is what I would say. OpenAI was able to achieve it because they are a startup. Okay, and why Microsoft is betting big on OpenAI and why Apple is betting big on OpenAI is because they don't want to reinvent the wheel. They just support this and build the game. And Google is not adopting that. Rather, I mean, in fact, they were one of the early tool of AI. But unfortunately, they didn't commercialize and adopt. They were very slow to adopt a lot of policies. Becoming a corporate is actually slowing down the innovation, is what I would say. Okay, so startup is no longer a drawback. It's actually an advantage that you have because you can act fast and react fast also. And you can always have the excuse that, I mean, if a startup makes a mistake, people will excuse it. Okay, so when a corporate makes a mistake, people will punish them actually. Okay, so that is something that you can use to your advantage, is what I would say. So with this, like I've just closed on the topic. So basically, you have covered mobile web application development landscape, mobile application development landscape, and you have touched upon how you build a front-end application and how to use AI for your development and day-to-day activities. So these are some things that we have touched upon. I would pause here and we'll be open for questions.
Thank you so much for giving us a very, very, I think, holistic view of the entire space. I think before we start, I just had one brief question for all of the teams here, since everyone is working on a web application or a mobile application. Let us assume, like, from a basic point of view, what would you say are the 3 steps that they should start off with? Like, assuming they don't have any knowledge on developing a web application. Like, since you mentioned the tools we have to look out for, or the whatever AI integration we have to look out for, you mentioned all of this, but immediate first step, assuming that we have no idea how to develop an app, or we just know that this is our idea, this is what we want to develop, and we are not from a technology background, because some of the students are from other engineering backgrounds, not computer science or IT per se, but they're still working on the app development. So they don't have much knowledge on the steps that they should take. And it can be pretty confusing when there are so many tech stack and so many tools that are available. You don't know which one to choose for and all of that. So what would you say that they should do? 1, 2, 3?
Okay, so first step is today, like, all that you need is available on the web in the form of YouTube. Okay, so see like how you can use YouTube to learn good technology, and that can actually be the first starting point to learn a new technology or to build something. The portal that was just posted, somebody would have already done it. Okay, so but for a different purpose. So here you are connecting students and investors. It would have been for a different purpose. So connecting companies with talent like HR department. Somebody would have done it. So see how you can use and learn from YouTube. That is one. Second thing, like open source, as I have been very much emphasizing, participate in some of the open source projects, and you don't have to write everything on your own. So you can play a small role in a larger open source project, which is aligned towards what you are doing. And that way you can actually learn yourself even better and equip yourself better to become a good developer. And if you're building a technology-driven startup, knowing technology is a mandatory thing. There is no excuse on that. Okay, so see, if we are a larger company, you can hire people from technology background and build on it. But like if you are a startup and you are going to build something, then like knowing technology, if you're going to be a tech-driven company, then knowing technology by the founder is a very important trait. Okay, for that, participating in hackathon, participating in open source projects. So the more you give, the more you gain. So that's what I would say. So participate in, sharpen your skills by participating, writing code. So that way you are aware and ready with coding kind of. So these are the three things. Like first, like educate yourself from YouTube kind of platforms. Second, contribute to pick up another open source project. Third, sharpen your skills by participating in hackathon or launching small modules and supporting some existing open source projects. So these are three steps that I would recommend to any tech-driven founder or startup.
Thank you so much. So I think with that, we would start. Gansham, can you go first?
Good evening, sir. Our project is based on e-commerce website for Chhattisgarh handlooms and handicraft products. So how can we integrate bank account options for customer to make purchase and payment on our website?
One second.
Yeah. So sorry. So for e-commerce, what I would tell is like use any existing open source e-commerce platforms. Mentor is one popular e-commerce platform. Rather than like building everything ground up, like use existing open source tools is something that I would recommend. And building something on Magento is faster way to do it. Like within a week, you can build a complete e-commerce website and launch it kind of. Did that answer you? Again, Magento is an open source platform, so you can find a lot of resources free and it's cheaper to adopt and quicker to launch.
Okay, so we'll go to Pragdishwaran next. Okay, he has mentioned that they are working on a nutrigenomic personalized profile building websites and a mobile application in particular framework. He's mentioned HTIMS HL7 CDC framework. So they use React.js and Node.js as a front end and back end. Then we use MongoDB for database. Is it okay to build a user-friendly application and also API as a HL7 CDC? Is it okay for both when we do website as well as app? I think he's having
to just give a direct answer on this, I would recommend building a mobile application on day one is something that I wouldn't recommend. Okay, so the reason being, you don't know like whether you want you will have users who will adopt it right from day one. You don't know, right? So in that case, what I would recommend is like build a web application, responsive web application, and make it in the wild. I mean, launch it, see the pilot it with the users, and see how they are accepting it or how they are benefiting out of it. And if there is a big significant user base, analyze the patterns. Okay, so if a significant user base is accessing your application always from mobile, then it makes sense to build a mobile application. Okay, so if people are going to only access from website, most of your 90% of users is going to access from a regular desktop browser or laptop browser. It doesn't make sense to build a native mobile application basically. Okay, so this way you're saving cost, you're quick to market, and you're not burning a lot of resources in building multiple things. And as a startup, like what happens is like more feature requests will come in, and more change requests will come in, more bugs will come in. Fixing it at one place and then making it perfect, then like expanding into multiple platforms would make more sense. Okay, so that is something that I would recommend. And if there is an API already available, go and use it. So that's what something that I would recommend. And don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, so if there is an API available, so the same example that I gave to the earlier question with Nyan Shyam. So don't invent the wheel by building an e-commerce platform ground up. Rather, use an existing e-commerce platform, which is Magento. So the same applies to you. Like if there is an API framework available, go ahead and use it. That's something that I would always recommend.
Okay, I think that cleared that question very well. Thank you, sir. So the next one, Arun, if you would like to go ahead. You have mentioned about, yeah, go ahead.
Sir, actually, we done our project in a static manner. Now we are working currently making it a dynamic, and I used a Netlify app for hosting purpose. Coming to security, whether HTML technologies are better or React, sir?
See, HTML is a static website technology. Like you build a website, static content, like say you are a business, you want to showcase about us and a landing page, and then like a simple contact form, and then like what products or services you offer, those kind of things you want to do it. A static HTML would really help. Okay, so if you want to build dynamic content, then like you want to look at React and other things. So even again, for the same website example, that is a technology called WordPress. Okay, so WordPress is a popular content management system. Okay, so if you want to build a website that you want to add or edit very frequently, you can go for WordPress. Okay, so React, if you are building something using React, you are going to generate dynamic content. That's when you need to consider React. And when you are using React, you need to have a backend as well. Like it can be a Node.js based backend or Python based backend, depending on the requirement, on the end user requirement that you have.
Yes. Okay, sir.
Hope that answers you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So next we'll go to Myth. Myth, is it okay if you can ask the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
So our project idea is an eco-friendly food delivery service that uses reusable packaging and offers reward points for returning container, along with surplus food management system. So how can we design a reward system to efficiently balance user engagement? Additionally, what are the best approaches for designing a database schema to efficiently handle real-time tracking of orders, deliveries, and reward points?
Okay. So what I understand is like you are building a delivery application. So today delivery application, you need to understand where your primary users are going to come from. Okay, so there are two delivery applications when it comes to logistics. Courier services and Amazon kind of services are also doing delivery. There like you can expect like delivery happening in say like 3 days time, 2 days time, or even a week's time kind of. So less number of inputs kind of. So they don't have a mobile application. They'll build a simple web application kind of. If you go to professional couriers or DTCP, whichever courier, FedEx or Blue Dart, they all have only web application based thing, and they provide in a responsive manner. Coming to other side of delivery, which is today's hottest things like Zomato kind of quick delivery or Insta deliveries. Okay, they are like user will expect turn by turn navigation kind of thing. Like is the delivery boy reached my doorstep? So that is a kind of accuracy that is needed. So in your thing, like you understand the call whether you are going to do instant delivery kind of Blinkit, Zomato, Swiggy, these kind of guys are providing, or it's going to be a regular shipment. Then like use a simple web-based or responsive web-based delivery kind of. Sorry. So it depends on the user experience that we are going to deliver. That's what I would recommend. So giving one more example again on reusability. If you're going to use a third-party delivery service to deliver your products, I would say use their APIs to build an update system. For instance, if you're going to partner with a logistics company like DHCL or FedEx, or even Flipkart also provides a logistics delivery service called eCart. So if you're just partnering with them to do the delivery services, they all provide API, and through API you can just build you don't have to build something out. I mean, end to end. So you would be just reusing their existing APIs to showcase your customer how the delivery is happening, kind of. So from which city you operate? Like say you are operating from Mumbai and you're going to deliver it to Chennai, then you'll be using a regular logistics service. Okay, so if that is the case, use the existing logistics services APIs to just give user updates. That's it. Even Amazon does that. Like within Amazon, if you're ordering from Jaipur or some tier 2, tier 3 city, they don't have their own logistics system. They will just use a third-party logistics company to do that. And all they do is just integrate their API to deliver the progress of tracking for the product delivery, basically. So see wherever you can reuse it, and whenever really needed, build something on your own. Hope that answers it. Or if you have any follow-up, feel free to discuss. I will be happy to address as well.
Sir, we are using reward point system for returning the container. So how can we design a reward point system in our project?
Reward points are something you need to build on your own. So reward point is like by value or by quantity or reward points. Like how you are planning reward points. Okay. No. How you are planning reward points? Like for example, by value, if you want to do rewards, then like you know the value of the bill that you generate, and based on that you can do it. And it's going to be number of orders, then you know how to do it. For example, I can give a real world example. If you use Domino's for ordering pizzas, if you use a mobile app, every single order allows you to actually give 100 points. And when you get like 400 points, you are eligible for a free pizza. So that is one way of reward system. And other thing is like when you refer a customer, you can build a reward kind of. So it's about like rewards usually are custom built, and you need to develop it. You need to have a backend, you need to have a database, you need to have a front end to handle it. Okay. So this is something that I would advise actually.
So basically what they are trying to build is for food delivery, right? When they want to return the containers, make it more reusable, make it more eco-friendly. Especially for food delivery, they want to have a system where they can reuse, or if customer is returning the container, then they want to give rewards. So this is what their premise is basically. And for that, what kind of app development they need, that's what he's trying to ask.
Okay, so you'll be predominantly having a mobile app, I believe. So in the mobile app, when customer returns his container, you can have a reward that is given to it, and you can save it to the database and calculate it kind of. So any other rewards that I think you will definitely, given this ecosystem, the context, I think you will be having a mobile app, and from mobile is where you'll be triggering the reward initiation on API to generate points, basically. Okay. So you're on mute.
Yeah, I think that cleared it up for me. So then next we have from Mohana Sundaram. So is it possible to integrate GPU intensive AI models into a web application backend? If so, how do we do it?
So see, GPUs are very costly. Okay, so regular web application runs on a web server. So GPU will be running on a GPU server. I mean, we'll be having GPU units. For instance, like if you are running an application on AWS, AWS has a separate way to access GPUs. GPU intensive operations will be running only on the GPU units, basically. Okay, so I'm not very sure like which platform you are using. So in AWS, like you have something called as S3 for static content, EC2 elastic containers for computing units for static, dynamic web application or a content web server basically. And you also have something else for GPU. So to provide GPU. So ML models will be hosted on the GPU units and it will be done that. So you'll be building an interface between these ML models and your web server to get the data out. To give you a simple context, you're building a vision classification, for instance. You scan a photo, you send it to server, and ask the ML to identify what object it is. So what your web server will do is receive the image from a user in the form of like file upload or directly from mobile. It will receive it and it will host it in the S3 and it will give the path to the ML model to process it. So ML model it will be processing that and it will deliver the output in a RESTful way through a API, which again the web server will read. Until then, the web server will be listening or waiting on the result. And once the web server receives the output, it will just present it to the user in a way that he wants. For example, Healthify app uses a similar model where in the mobile, you can just click a picture of your plate, food in the plate, and it processes and gives you what food it is. And it also calculates the calories that is based on the quantity and other things kind of. So that's one example how you can build it. So how would it be done is like you have a web server, you have a AML server separate kind of.
So we will go to the next. One more question we have is when we use animation and CSS, styling sort of tool. So whether it will increase the page loading time, is that true? Like, should we be concerned about it?
Yeah, very true. The more animation, you'll be using some third-party libraries and more styling. So obviously it will increase the load of the page and it will slow down the entire page load. I would say like the first home page should come fast. You can use these animation at a minimal level to perform some actions. For example, user clicks on login. So it takes some time to log in. Then you can do a loader kind of animation. Keep it very minimal. And today user doesn't even bother about the animations that is available in the page unless you are doing a game or interactive application kind of. If it is going to be a simple like e-commerce or simple services kind of thing, like when the delivery project that you are discussing or a portal kind of thing, better I would advise don't do any animations. That will make the site faster, and the faster it is, more users will adopt it and they'll be benefiting out of it.
Yes. So Shabir, can you go next? If you're...
Yes. So actually we are building the project. What we have the problem is like most of the common people usually want that they want to get more money out of the non-working products. So I basically means like e-waste. So suppose I have Samsung mobile phone, button phone. Okay. So if I go to Bangar, so they would not give me very good money. So unless if I go to the shopkeepers, multiple shopkeepers, they would provide me a good range of prices. So that would be very beneficial for me to get more benefit in terms of price. So we are building a platform wherein we would be connecting the seller, e-waste seller, to the shopkeepers. Now we have created a competitive environment where the shopkeeper will put on the price for the products we are the user is giving. Okay, so they will estimate the cost. Okay, so once the user get these all are the estimated ranges, so he can choose the one which is best for him and he can go and connect in in touch. Okay, so matlab, he has to go for we would just provide him the details, and he has to go to the shopkeeper by his own. Okay, but what we intend is we reduce the time. We give him the better option that this shopkeeper will give you better money of this product, so you need to go to that shopkeeper only. So I have some problems is like, see, if the shopkeeper user and shopkeeper do the deals, okay, personally, because we are just a medium, we are just providing them the address. So what if they go क्या बोल, they go in by मतलब they go there and do the deals, we would not be able to know how they do the deal. Okay, because we are just providing the address and these are personal details. So what can we do in order to get this problem done? We need to get the solution out of this. How to get
Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, yes,
yeah.
please.
Yeah. So okay, so just to give you like you are building, trendsetter in your industry, or the way that the things that you do is basically OLX has been done that. Redbus has done that, and I worked very closely with Redbus during their founding days. Given that context, ethical behavior of either your companies the vendors, and ethical behavior of end users, you cannot expect honesty. They will definitely find ways to work around. So one way that you can do is building anonymity. Okay, so they don't know like which vendor is actually evaluating or giving an estimate is something that you can do, which OLX was doing during the early days. Okay, so but at a later point, like when their volume grow, they stopped doing that because that was restricting their growth as well. So initially you can anonymize, so you will not know which user is posting. The vendor will not know which user is actually trying to sell his mobile phone, and the end user will not know which company is actually quoting them on the mobile phones, kind of. So you can build anonymity, like you can not show the names or contact details for them to evaluate, kind of.
Okay, but we as a platform, the user has to go to the shopkeeper by his own. So if he would be knowing that the user will see what I'm telling to say is they both can do the deals by his own. No, so we as a platform will not be able to know that whether the deal has been done or not.
You need to look at it at case by case thing only, Shabi. Probably like what I would recommend is like deal is done or not. Like if you want to have the deal to happen only through you, the way that you can handle it is like you pick up, you get the estimate, and then connect the both users, kind of. If you are just going to directly connect them, then obviously they will not. You cannot. Obviously, they'll try to bypass your commissions, right? So they will try to disclosing to you about this kind of. So that's what I would say. If you could facilitate the entire transaction, then you have control on it. Else, you're just going to only match make and connect them, or then you will not have any control on it. Done.
Yes.
Done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all, and bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.